Why do you support Donald Trump?
I support him because it's like I feel like from the past time, because to be honest, I was a Democrat for many, many, many years, and then and for some reason from his term, I was like worried about like he was gonna like take away certain things, and then it didn't even end up happening. So it was like little by little, I was just starting to get to know how he
What did you
is
think
and
he was
stuff.
going to take away?
Well, when he was running a campaign against Hillary Clinton, Hillary Clinton saying that he was gonna cancel Social Security, was gonna that Trump was gonna cancel Medicare and all these things. And when he became president from his first term, none of that happened.
I mean, well, they have cut food stamps and Medicaid, but I don't think that Hillary Clinton said that he was going to cancel Medicare and Social Security in its entirety.
Yeah, well, he didn't like. He's not cutting it. He basically like changed the rules.
No, they cut it. They cut it. The big beautiful bill, according to the Congressional Budget Office, is cutting after tax income for the bottom 10% of income earners by $1,200 a year.
No, but there's like a new qualification for that. You have to work 20 hours minimum to 80 to maintain it.
80 hours a month. So again, what you're not understanding is that's going to lead to 2.4 million people on average being cut off of food stamps a month, along with over 10 million people cut off of their health insurance. So that's
I
not
totally
good.
understand. What I'm trying to say is like it's okay to get government assistance, it's okay to get help and stuff like that. But I feel like that shouldn't be a lifestyle, because like I in my family, we used during like bad times, we had used like government resources and stuff like that. But my aunt, like, she knew how she was able to take advantage of the system. She was having three kids,
What is
and then
taking advantage of the system?
um taking advantage of the system, basically like the income earning from like basically Section 8 and food stamps and welfare.
Okay.
They go
If you
by
get
like how
Section
many
8,
kids
if you
you
get
have.
food stamps, if you get welfare, you're abusing the system under your worldview. If you get massive tax breaks, if you get subsidies from the government, are you then taking advantage of the government in that context?
The way the tax breaks is no tax or
Well,
no
yeah, no, I'm
tax.
just asking, in that circumstance, are you then like taking advantage of the system? Like, because I was referencing subsidies, tax
You were
credits
comparing
that they give big
from people that
corporations.
work or don't work.
What's that?
So are you comparing like the working class or the
So how
non-working
about
class?
like the subsidies for like big fossil fuel companies? Do you care about that? Do you care about fossil fuel companies that are like exploiting government resources, or do you only care about people who are on Medicaid and food stamps?
I care about everything.
Okay, so then why are we not cutting the fossil fuel industry subsidies?
To be honest, I do not know about that in particularly, but I know about like food stamps and all the stuff. Like basically, like before, it went by how many kids the parent had. So if you had like six kids, you were gonna get like the money would just completely grow.
Yeah, yeah, of
And
course, of course. If you're taking care of six children, you need more money to take care of more children. So explain to me why. Do you think people should get less money if they have more children, or
no, I feel like they should have it, but it shouldn't be to a rate where it's becoming a lifestyle, and then the
becoming a
parents don't.
lifestyle? What do you mean by becoming a lifestyle?
Well, because if you're getting all this money, if you're getting like 4,000 or 5,000, I would say 6,000 a month for food stamps, and they're getting like eight
You think people are
thousand
getting 6,000 a month for food stamps?
for six. Oh, my aunt did for six kids because she has six
No, she
kids.
didn't. She did not get 6 grand a month. You're totally lying.
No, that's true.
No
Because
person in this country got 6 grand for food stamps. No person.
so yeah, that's what my aunt was getting from, because EBT also has another feature called cash assistance, and EBT is like, there's like only for food, and then there's only cash. There's also cash assistance.
Okay, no,
So
no one's
that,
getting 6 grand a month. No one's getting 6 grand a month from food stamps. That's a total and complete lie that you just made up. I know
yeah,
you don't under
a little
you
bit.
don't understand it, but it's totally fine. You just shouldn't be assuming someone's getting 6 grand a month.
Yeah. I so yeah, my aunt gets really a lot, like a lot from cash assistance from having like 6 kids. I got like 6 cousins. Like that's crazy.
No one's getting 6 grand a month from food stamps. You think they're getting $72,000 a year from food stamps?
I'm say what?
You think they're getting $72,000 a year from food stamps?
That's way too high. That's like extremely
Yeah. Do
high.
you realize how ridiculous that seems?
That would
They're
be like
making they're making almost double the median personal income just in food stamps.
different food stamps,
Dude,
yeah.
come on, just realize what you just said it was ridiculous.
I know she wasn't getting six. She was getting definitely hella
Are you
more.
saying 600 a month? 200 per person?
Two, two, 200 if it's like only like one or two people. But she has 6 kids and she got like 4 or 5 thousand for that.
No, she didn't. Okay, so it went from 6,000 to 4 or 5,000. Neither, no way it's 4 or 5,000 either.
Has to,
You were saying?
has to.
Repeat that one more time. Sorry, I couldn't make
I
out what you
said it
said.
has to be.
It has to be. No, it doesn't have to be 4 or 5,000. No one's getting 4 to 5,000 in food stamps.
Well, basically, what my statement was is that like people just want to have kids because they know how to have kids and they know
I have a question.
what
Do you want America to have more children?
um honestly no.
No. So you want there to be population decline in the long run, which will mean we have to reduce benefits for.
Not decline, but stabilized, where it's like not too many, not too less, like just stable. Because then because think about it, if there should be like pop like population control, because then we're gonna have to make more land, then we're gonna have to make more buildings, then we gotta do all
Wait,
these
we don't
kinds of
need to make more. What do you mean make more land? No, no, no. I
well,
just.
like put a building on an empty part of our land.
Okay, and what's wrong with that? We have to do that anyway.
That
We have to build anyway. We have to build houses.
but then it comes to a point when you have to make something out of nothing.
What do you mean make something? It's not possible to make something out of nothing.
Well, like when it gets, think about how crowded New York is, how congested it is. Like you go to Times Square, you go to all these places, you have these people like some like mad close to you, and you're in breathing right next to you. Just imagine if the population over there got much, much, much worse than that. Like that would be like outrageous.
The population got much worse than that. I'm confused.
Imagine if the population got more worse than that. As of right now, you go to
In
Times
what
Square and
way?
you go
More
to
worse?
Manhattan, you
More
can't
worse in
barely
what way?
breathe. I'm sorry. What was that?
More worse in what way?
Where well, as of right now, when you're walking and stuff like that, you basically don't have like walking space. Like people are you can actually like feel people breathing on you and
Okay,
stuff like
why
that.
don't you just go to a smaller city then?
Smaller city.
Do you think that there aren't cities in the United States that are small?
Of course there are. Those are
Go go
called
go go live in a small town then. If you want to go live in a small town, go live in a small town. You don't have to live in New York City.
I don't yeah, but I'm saying like it's too crowded, and then the whole cut, and then they add like congestion fees and that because
Where are you talking about in New York City?
the MTA.
Okay, do you think that New York City is the only place to live in the United States?
No.
No. Okay, so then why are you acting like this is everywhere in the United States? Okay, so there are a lot of places in the United States that are not crowded. So the idea that we can't bring immigrants into the country because it is the case that we're going to be overcrowded is ridiculous. The fact that we couldn't have more children because it's going to be overcrowded is ridiculous. Neither of those things are true. You know that China and
Well,
India.
not
Wait,
only
wait,
a.
wait.
I'm
There are
sorry.
there are countries with significantly higher populations than us. You know that, right?
Yeah. But I feel like living in the United States, it should be a privilege. Being in the United States, it should be a privilege. Like if you love your country and you want your country to be respected and you want people to come in good terms, then they should come in the proper way. And I know that
Yeah,
I know
but the
that
proper
the
way
way
needs to
is very
take a
long
reasonable
and
amount
stuff
of
like
time.
that. Like the way is very long, but they should do something where it should only be like at least a year, where they could check a back do a background
Wait,
check and all
yeah,
that stuff.
right now it takes 5 to 7 years on average. So if it takes 5 to 7 years on average, explain to me why someone would be incentivized to go through the legal process.
Well, would it isn't them waiting 5 years better than coming in unvetted and coming
No,
in?
we can vet people without having it take 5 years. That's ridiculous. 5 to 7 years is way too long. Again, it would make sense for someone to go through the process
Well, what I was
legally.
saying, but what I was
Listen,
saying
listen,
originally, I
listen,
feel like it should be a
listen,
year.
listen. It would make sense for someone to go through the process legally if it took a reasonable amount of time.
I feel like they should apply this year and then come next year. I think that's pretty reasonable.
And that's way less time than it currently takes. That's about 1/5 of what it currently takes on the lowest end on average.
Mm. But whose fault was that?
Whose fault is that? That's the current system. Republicans make the system take significantly longer. And by the way, it shouldn't take even that long. It should be even quicker than that.
I feel like we gotta before we're focused on bringing anybody in. We gotta make sure everything is in order. I feel like we should make sure all of our budgeting is in order. We gotta make sure all
That's
these people
ridiculous.
that
Okay, if you want to get our budgeting in order, you shouldn't have voted for Trump because he's going to add 4 trillion more debt-related spending comparative to the other administration.
well we gotta make sure that we have law and order. We are
Law
we
and
gotta
order. You want to
respect.
make sure we have law and order as you voted in a convicted criminal held civilly liable woman that incited a violent insurrection on the Capitol, who and then literally pardoned the violent rioters who
You
cops, right,
believe
and then
in
called them
that?
patriots right after. Yeah, he's really invoking law and order by voting for the convicted criminal. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Get criminals out of DC, except for
Really?
Trump. Get
I think
criminals out of DC, except for Trump. Like, do you realize what you guys sound like?
Trump is not a criminal. That's the
He is.
narrative
He is a
that
convicted felon.
Republicans give to him. They
Wait,
try to arrest him, they try to bankrupt him, and then
I'm sorry. He is a convicted criminal. He is a felon. That is a fact. He's a convicted and sentenced felon. You can say that under your view, you think it's a false conviction, but that doesn't mean that he's not a criminal. By the way, that's ridiculous. Why do you support Donald Trump?
Well, I want to circle back to the pricing, the prices, interest rates, and all that. As soon as Biden got in office, he shut down the pipeline and he wanted to import gases, fuel, everything from other countries instead of doing it from this country.
The XL pipeline, right? Is that the one you're referencing?
Yes,
That was to import like oil from Canada. Did you know that?
yes.
So, why would you give an example as to why he didn't want to import products, or why of him wanting to import products, of him like limiting that? One, he didn't limit that. That was actually the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court is the one that cut it off.
Why not supply our own stuff? Why get it from somewhere else?
You should be asking Trump that because it didn't the pipeline do that?
Biden is the one that shut it down. Trump is
Yeah,
trying to do it
the
from
pipeline was
our land.
importing, and no, Biden didn't shut it down. It was the Supreme Court, and Biden followed through with the Supreme Court order. You're saying Trump wouldn't have followed through with the Supreme Court order, and you're saying Trump would just continue violating the Constitution.
Yes.
You think that's good to violate the Constitution?
If it means creating this country better again, yes.
Okay, so should we deport all MAGA because that would make the country better?
No, it wouldn't. It will destroy the country just as it has
How?
been for the last
How
four
would it
years.
destroy the country?
Look at where we're at. Everybody's struggling.
You said we can do anything as long as it makes the country better. Deporting MAGA would make the country better. Therefore, even though it's in violation of the Constitution, we should be allowed to do it. Deport MAGA,
Why should we?
because it would make our country better.
I don't see how it'll make it greater.
Because we wouldn't have people who are undermining, who don't hold our core American values of, the rule of law, our court system, our democratic values, immigration. Like, it's we need to have values as a country, and when we have such a group of people in the country that goes against our core American values so much, that means we shouldn't let them in the country, right? We should get MAGA out of the country, deport all MAGA, right?
Yeah, whatever you say.
That would be absurd, right? That would be absurd to say that, correct?
Yeah, it would.
Okay, so in the same connotation, right, you would say it's probably absurd in that context unless you give reason, right? So you got to do something you got to legally do stuff, correct? You can't just illegally do things. You have to follow what the Supreme Court indicates to be law of the land. So if they indicate it to be law of the land that you can't utilize the pipeline, then you can't utilize that pipeline. And by the way, that's just an aspect of the Keystone Pipeline. The Keystone Pipeline is still in operation.
Yeah, it is now. And now it's trying to make
It's been in operation. It didn't stop.
Okay. Can I get your opinion on the Second Amendment laws?
It's still in accordance with like how we treat the law, given that it says well-regulated militia.
You don't think any of our weapons should be taken away?
Oh yes, yeah, plenty of them should be taken away.
I
Like
disagree with that.
like mini nuclear weapons, none of those should be allowed for legal citizens to get access to, or anyone to get access to in general.
Well, we don't have access to that.
Exactly. So you agree with that?
I agree. We don't need that.
Okay. Exactly. So obviously some laws should exist to restrict some things. So what's the problem?
I just hear a lot of left side say that they want to take away the limit your rounds to your mags,
I don't mind doing
stuff like that.
I don't mind doing that.
Why do you,
I care hell of a lot more about bodily autonomy rights for women and pregnant individuals to get access to abortion than I care about the access to an.
I disagree with abortions. I don't think anybody should abort a child.
Okay.
That's just my opinion.
Why?
Because you're an innocent being for nothing.
And do you know that this leads to death as well?
Yes, in some medical cases, yeah, you might have to get an abortion. That is where I draw the line. Where it's a decision between you or the baby. That's where I draw the line.
Okay, so
But
but you understand that like you advocating against being restricted will lead to more babies and kids dying.
I don't know how we got into abortion when we're talking about the Second Amendment, but I don't think a woman should be able to abort.
Okay, and why is that wrong?
It's pretty much in my eyes.
Okay, so because it leads to a greater level of kids. Do you believe in mandated vaccines?
No,
That would save lives. You don't think it's okay to restrict bodily autonomy in order to be able to get access or in order to save human life?
the vaccine hasn't proven to save lives.
Yes, it has. There's a bibliography in my bio that demonstrates that to be true.
I haven't researched that.
Look at the bibliography in my bio. It's like 30 pages long with peer-reviewed studies, just over and over and over again.